If you're looking to add a trailing stop loss to your TradingView indicator, then this video is for you. Now, as you can see on my chart that we have our long entry, and then underneath the candles we have this red line. Now this represents a trailing stop loss. As you can see, it's following with the price as it moves along, and then eventually when the price crosses that trailing stop loss, we can see that it's exiting our position. Now I'm going to show you step by step on how you can implement this, and also on how you can set alerts to this so it can be automated. Now if you want to find this code, you can just join the Discord server. You'll find a link to that in the description of this video. I'm going to be using a very simple indicator. So as you can see, we're just using a normal basically SMA crossover, which is going to be if the 5 cross over the 50, we're going to enter long, and then if it cross under, we're going to go short. Now this is a version 5 strategy, and it's very important that you use the latest version which TradingView basically offers, which is version 5, because this means that you'll be able to use the latest functionalities such as alerts, and I'm going to show you exactly on how to implement that. But first, what we want to do is we're going to paste the code that you can get in the Discord. Now I'm just quickly going to explain what it's doing, and if we look at the first part, which is the trailing stop percent, that is basically going to set the percentage gap between the trailing stop and the last price. So you'll see that the default is currently set to 2, which is going to be 2%, but you can adjust that, or by adding this, we'll also be setting it in the input settings so it can be adjusted later on without touching the code. Now again, if you don't understand Pine, you can just follow along and you'll see it will make sense in the end. Now here we basically have the functionality on what the trailing stop is, and also how it should be placed with the plotting, which is basically going to be showing that red lines. If you want to change the color, all you need to do is change the color right here. Make sure that it's acceptable in Pine on how you define that. But for example, if you just want to make it like green or something, color.green should do it. And then if we go down, we have our basically our alerts. Now in a previous video I did explain how these alerts work, but in this video I'll be showing you a much simpler way on how you can actually manage this. So yeah, make sure to stick along for the rest of the video, and I'll also show you on how this works. But so if we update this indicator now on our chart, we should be able to see those red lines. Now right here we can see that we have the long and the shorts, but as you'll notice, we get a long signal before we even touch the short trailing stop loss. Now the way to fix this is we need to tell TradingView when we actually hit that trailing stop before we can place a new entry. And because this is a strategy, we can do it with a very simple way. We can just say and strategy.position size equals 0. So that means that there's no position open, and we can just do the same thing for the short, and this should fix it. Just as simple as that. You'll see now that it's gonna wait until that trailing stop get hit, and then we will show the next entry, whether it's a long or a short. Now depending on what you are using, like if you use maybe like a super trend indicator or your own personal one, you just need to make sure that whatever is defining your longs and your shorts, that you basically add the strategy position equals 0, and then you just need to basically set the X's as well. So if we say strategy position size is bigger than 0, in TradingView that means you're in a long position, and if we say it's smaller than 0, TradingView knows that means we are on a short, and then we basically exit it based on our short trailing and long trailing price, which we set right here. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is actually the alerts and how simple this is to implement. So the strategy.exit actually has a built-in function which is called alert loss, or alert profit, or alert message, but we're going to be focusing on alert loss because we're using the stop function in the strategy.exit, and this is going to be taking basically our trade as a stop loss. So that's why alert loss works perfectly with the stop. Now we also have something very similar for our entries, but this is just going to be alert message. Now if you're wondering on why you'd like to add like these alert messages into the indicators or strategies, It's only if you really want to make use of like automation tools. For example, the one that we have where you can build like your long or your short conditions. If you were to basically copy this message and you were to paste it, whatever condition it triggers on, then as soon as the alert fires, it will then place or exit that trade on the exchange using, for example, our bot. But there are other services like this, or even with the exchanges itself. So, or even if you just, want to send a alert to your email with a message, then this is why you want to use that alert message. Now, if you actually want to let the alert fire with that message, you need to set something like this, which is the double curly bracket, two of them, is basically with strategy.order.alert message. This exact message needs to be pasted in your message box so that when that alert fires, it basically pulls whatever message you have said here. Now again, you can set these messages in two ways. You can either use like this input boxes. The good thing about the input box is basically you can set that in your indicator settings. So now I don't need to change my code if I want to change the message. For example, if I wanted to paste this in here, I could just change it without having to worry to re-add the indicator or update the code or anything. But for our entries, we have used basically a hard-coded string, like long and short. Now this means that if I wanted to change this for long trade, then I need to upload the indicator again and all that. Now I'm going to show you exactly also another method on how you can see if your indicators, your alerts are up to date. So I get a lot of time people using the board, and they basically say the board is trading but it's not matching their chart data. Now the simple way you can basically verify this, if you select the condition and you see two of the same indicators in this list, it means that your indicator is outdated. So if I were to update it to this one and I were to save it without changing anything in my indicator, if I go back to the settings and conditions, you'll notice that I only have one of these conditions here. But as soon as I change anything within my strategy, like if I were even to change this message to long exit trade, and we were to go back to the condition, you'll see there's going to be another one in that list, meaning I did change something without updating my alerts. When you're using automation tools, it's very important that you keep your alerts up to date, because otherwise you'll see stuff in your chart that isn't going to be firing to the exchange, and your strategy might not work the way you wanted it to. Now, if you found this video useful and you want to see more like this, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and also comment what you want to see next. If you want to see me, adding like take profits and stop loss, which are hard coded like values, like is it 2 or 3%, I can also do a video on that. And later on, I'll also show you exactly on how we can set this to the board and leave it running. So it just, it's fully automated. But this is like a good first step if you want to add this to your own indicators and also, experiment with how these messages works. But hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you in the next video.